What is up? What is up? What is up? Let's dig into that. It's a proclamation. Our mission is to spark honest, thoughtful conversations that promote deeper connections and understanding, with focus on culture, relationships, and the ideas that shape the world.
Who signed me up for this?
I wanted to try to bring some energy. I mean, come on.
That was good.
Without blowing out our speakers. We got some feedback that we've been giving them feedback. And who do I do this with? The voice you just heard.
It's me.
Man, does she love shave ice. Particularly that tiger's blood syrup. But she keeps it tight with 3 sets of 10 pull-ups. It's Jordan, everybody!
Yes, it is about that balance of fake sugar and pull-ups. That's how it all works.
I liked it.
I am here with my dreamy plate juggler and bonus cuddle smuggler.
Ooh.
If feelings was a game, it's my man with no shame. Allow me to welcome JT.
Yeah. I've got some shame, but that's why we do this. Talk about it.
We were here to try to shake that.
That's
Season
exactly.
3.
It doesn't just go away.
How far
You work
in?
on it. You work on it.
Word. I couldn't agree with you more. How close are we on you shaking it?
Well, it's a constant battle all the time. I'm doing great.
Growth.
It's
I like
growth.
it. I like it.
Speaking of shame,
Oh man. Okay, go for it.
where do you draw the line, and do you think it's appropriate for someone to laugh during a eulogy?
Okay. Okay. We are, yes. No disclaimer on sensitivity awareness.
I wanted to
like
broach
it.
the subject in a different light.
Yes,
And so I think people are going to get the gist of what we're talking about.
I think folks know that I am, if appropriate, I think there's a lot of gray area in that space.
Yeah.
Where if it's in honor of someone, so is it okay to laugh?
Right.
Yeah.
That's the question.
Should the laughter be a joint consensus? But I come from I laugh when I heal. I laugh when I'm uncomfortable. I laugh to make others comfortable. It's a coping mechanism I'm very comfortable with. So I hope to shout that it's okay. But I could see there's probably some area, if someone is just uncontrollably giggling during scripture, I could see how that might be a difficult
I get
read.
it, but that could be their way of processing.
Right. I hope so.
You know what I
because
mean?
I do it if it's
Exactly.
appropriate for my heart.
Eulogy, you googly, as Derek Zoolander said.
Oh my gosh.
You didn't think I knew what a googly was,
I
did
like
you?
the energy you're bringing to this conversation. Okay.
Well, I wanted to approach the topic of grief.
Yep. And you need a bit of lightness.
Yes, you have to come in with a little bit of lightness.
Because guess what? Fun fact, you can't really miss it.
No.
I was seeing if there were some sideshow, a brochure on the most thorough closure at the quickest pace for the least amount of dollars. Easy
I like
payments,
that.
and not possible. And to the effect of laughter, I think we are experiencing together a very real loss in our family.
Yeah.
And I was asked to share words, and I was honored because this gentleman was truly an angel on earth, a gentle giant. We even have had a special guest. His stepdaughter, RJG,
That's right.
was here for an interview and teaching us all kinds of beautiful things. And so Renee and I were together missing this dear man hard. And I, of course, opened with, "Hi, I'm Jordan, the adoring niece." And this particular, I'm going to say it, Big Al was one of my first crushes. So I went straight for the intro joke because it was true.
Right.
He came into my world when I was about 6, 7 years old. And everybody was saying "Hey, this is Big Al. This is Big Al." And I was, duh. This man was so sweet and enormously tall, 6'10" apparently in his heyday.
Ooh.
And so I felt incredibly special because my aunt and uncle are very near and dear. And I'm so lucky to love my big fan. But yeah, I cracked a joke. And I did rule out, my mom vetoed cursing. And I think it was right because this man read the Bible every morning.
Man of God.
And it probably slipped out when I blacked out, sharing some memories. But yeah, so.
Well, thank you for being brave and talking about it. And Yes, to all of our listeners, last week we lost an uncle, and it really inspired this conversation because we were thinking about how we process grief. And I just want to talk about this as a little bit of a precursor. As always, we are coming to you with our research, with our own with our own sort of thoughts and perceptions. We are not trying to be experts. We want you to think about how you process this.
It was tricky because I was so caught up in my own participation that I did the unthinkable. As I walked in and I said stupid crap like, "How you doing?" Crappy. Everybody's in a shitty way, or "You look great," and I was just dropping garbage, upon that. And
But what are you supposed to say?
And there's a way to do better. And I was really gentle with myself because I was like, "You crushed when you needed to, kid. Let's just keep on going." And so there's so much love, but so I think correct that personal research on, I think I grieve much differently than you in some ways. Mine seems to be louder.
That's why I wanted to open with that question, is because there isn't a right or wrong. And that's what I really wanted to highlight with someone laughing at a eulogy. Immediately you go, of course that's inappropriate. But in reality, that could be exactly what that person needs. There could be
Celebration of life is a line that is popular.
And so
I'm curious what you think about that line. What's that?
Well, I want to
event title.
One of the things I did in prep for this was come up with a little bit of a game, sort of.
Grief games. Oh my gosh, we're gonna offend the world. We are just.
I wouldn't call it a game, but
no, yeah.
I have a list of things that are commonly said to grieving people, and I would love for us to kind of go through them and go, you think that's a positive thing to say? You think it's a negative thing to say? Or you think that's just kind of a thing people say?
Okay, because we got a lot I feel it. We're gaming right now.
I think we should just get through it because that's one of the things that I think is most challenging is, when someone's deep in grief, how do you be there for that person? And that's something, you know what I mean? That's something that all people are going to face.
Yes.
And
exactly.
So
that was my prolific
talk
comment.
A little bit about the do's and don'ts of how to be there for someone who's deep in grief.
Because I felt like you just nailed it. I'm like, game over, where someone's saying, "I am here for you," and then they send me a text an hour or days or in an appropriate or whatever our relationship kind of might feel right, that they send a text that doesn't require me to respond. Feels like a real good sweet spot. So when you said I'm here for you, and I know it, I am showing up and I'm saying it to your face right now. I'm not going anywhere in my heart.
Right.
Does mean a lot because the what can I do to help? Is that one?
Well,
because I feel like I'm so
when you're when I
answer?
look back into my own life, and we've talked about it a lot, my dad passing, I was unfortunately present for a mass shooting where a lot of people I knew passed away.
Your grandpa passed 4 months before your father.
Right. And there's been a lot of grief in my life. And when I think back now, the whole hindsight's 2020 aspect, and think about what I was feeling, to this day, the answer is I don't know.
The language of your
I didn't have the words to be able to articulate to anyone. It didn't matter if you were my closest friend or my mom. I couldn't tell you what I needed. Period. It was impossible. I didn't have the emotional
Time
language.
machine,
I didn't have the ability. And so what do you need? I don't think that's a bad one. If we were playing the game, I would say that's neutral. But I would say there's so much better things that you can say or not. The ding, 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 ding moment for this would be, listen, it's not about what you can say. There isn't anything good to say to someone who is grieving the loss of someone or, but I really do think I'm here for you and I'm not going anywhere. And then just listening. And it's even appropriate to say, I don't know what to say. I'm just here with you. Yeah. That's it.
Because there are, the line of "there are no right words" is cliche for, in that particular case, a reason of there's a lot of truth.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about time heals all wounds?
Oh, God. I hate it.
Okay.
I hate it so much because there's truth to it, good sentiment, but at the same time, no one wants to hear that.
Time distances you from pain that might have been more intense.
Right.
And I agree that I'm like, there are times where that is applicable, but ooh, that can be a
Distant avoidant.
that can be a misdelivery. Similar to, like, I don't know, is it, I try not to, like, the folks that want to, I know this is going to get JT turned up. You ready, folks? Gear up. Folks that want to turn it back to them. Like, at least you had them as long as you did.
Yeah.
Because I lost my Chucky. You know, that's, again, an attempt to connect.
Yes.
Gone awry.
It's actually a disconnector, truly. Mm-hmm. When you spin something like, let's say someone's mourning the loss of a close family member, and you approach that person with, hey, my uncle just died too. Mm-hmm. There's no good that comes from that. But as the person approaching, your intentions are good. You want to be like, hey, I can relate to your situation. But let me tell you something. We are all different. We all grieve different. We all think and process differently. Mm-hmm. So for you to assume that you know what someone else is going through, you don't.
Yeah. I understand, we know, is a big hot button for me that I don't like about myself. I'm not going to pass necessarily judgment on others, but saying something along, I mean, I just lost someone. I understand what you're going through.
No one wants to hear that.
Yeah, because you're going, no, you don't. I have all of this plus acid reflux.
Right.
Like you have, and these shoes are pinching my feet.
But
and
it's so easy.
You don't know.
Exactly. It's
Yes.
so easy as the person to present that because we all have experiences with grief in one way or another. And so you do want to empathize and try to be compassionate. But when you make it about your own instance, mm-hmm. you're really actually building a small wall between you guys as opposed to letting them come to you and you actually be there for them. You've sort of created a disconnect there as opposed to actually connecting.
Yes.
Yeah.
You said something very touching, and I'm just going, if this is my untouch, not to, but I'm like, if this was a very, very different podcast, I'd be like, if you had a drinking game around how many times you heard someone go, well, at least.
Right.
And then that would be a much different spin because we'll probably circle back to like coping because that's an interesting one too, where, yeah. We don't, by the way, we don't imbibe anymore. And that could have been in the past.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
That would have been a crutch. That would have been something that you could lean on. And
I'll say it because this is truth-telling time. We went from service to beautiful. Everything was so beautiful. It was hot and humid. Weather was a good distracting topic.
Okay.
And then to burial site and stayed together as a family. And then everyone went to the liquor store.
Yeah.
And was exactly as planned. And the potty break. And so it was the dual stop. And I'm like, yes, let's all take our shoes off and be.
This episode of Let's Dig Into That is brought to you by
Feeling broken? Beautiful. That's exactly how we like you. Welcome to the Grief Cult Wellness Retreat, a 3-day journey into curated sadness, conscious uncoupling from expectations, and artisanal rage. Rewild your nervous system with breath work in a yurt. Burn your unresolved childhood in our signature fire bowl ceremony. And let our grief shamans hold you just the right amount too long during eye contact meditation. For only $3,333, because repeating numbers are spiritual, you'll leave with nothing but a woven bracelet, a mild sunburn, and the illusion of closure. Grief Cult, because healing is real, but so is aesthetic.
Not affiliated with any actual religion, mental health practice, or licensed bodywork professionals. You may experience visions of your ex. Please bring your own towel. Time heals all wounds. Obviously not good, right?
We've decided.
So you literally just lost an uncle. What would be something that would be positive to say to you?
Ooh, do you want company? Is a good
Oh,
one.
you like that?
I'm a
that's good.
solo traveler sometimes, and it feels good to write my feelings out or jog or whatever. It might be a fireball ceremony. You don't know.
Do you want company? That's
so do you
good.
want company or you want to hang solo tonight? 'Cause some bathtub beckons.
Gotcha.
Or can I drop off trashy magazines? Or, yeah, do you still like X, Y, and Z food? Because, like, most of my people would know my flavors places because I plan my next meal while
There you
eating.
go.
And so I'm bringing bow at X time. I'll be there. I'll be there for that.
Something dumpling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then if somebody said to me, like, coming over to ugly cry,
Yeah.
that would be, I'm coming over because I've got my own stuff. Oh, can I give another act of grieving? The poet laureate of Colorado, we might have mentioned Andrea Gibson.
Yes.
Heartbroken over the loss of their spirit and wisdom. And so we will probably celebrate many, many times their work here but talk about a way to put in perspective grief. And the beautiful thing that their partner did was, Andrea feels best when they're helping others, so bring your shit to the bedroom. And I loved it.
That,
so
yeah.
Mad props and so
just a line of people started coming into the room.
All of their friends, as they're suffering there, because unfortunately ill, that yes, that thought all of their friends, their lives are a mess. All of my people are falling apart. And I thought that was such a beautiful way to help when it's a unique topic, when you're actively grieving someone while they're still alive, which occurred with the uncle we're referencing. And Big Al unfortunately battled with dementia, and it has, I mean, my hearts go out to, I'm sure it touches nearly everyone in some capacity. And it is so mind-blowing. And it is, and to keep open hearts, and as we don't understand and learn, but to actively grieve someone while you're touching their hand is unbelievable. And it's such an incredible opportunity in some ways.
Absolutely.
And so whether it is illness and you're able to, make sure those memories are remembered as colorfully as you want. But yeah, I think that's a great point of, there's a lot of grief. Like, again, you can't avoid it, but like, I'm grieving my youth.
Yes. No, I'm so glad.
I had to lighten up my tears. Sorry.
Good job. You're so brave. And I love the point that you just made there. Of course we grieve loss. Of course, like when someone passes on and we're never going to see that person again, we're in grief. But we grieve so much. Mm-hmm. And I just want to say this because this is my own perspective. The amount of grief I've dealt with has been a lot. Mm-hmm. And I have developed a system or a tool that works for me. And I'd love to share it just in case it works for someone else. But
it would be great to do the life jacket lesson earlier. Yeah, before the cruise ship leaves the dock. Got it.
So I can't take full credit for this because I had a really good therapist when I was a teenager who said to me that all grieving is inevitable. And I was like, what? I remember being like 14 and that's just like... my head exploded. And I was like, what?
So much.
But, when you're thinking about a loss, we all pass on. When you're grieving your childhood, you were going to grow up. The things that we tend to grieve in life are all inevitable. And so the reason I'm saying this is because for me...
Took the edge off of your little 14-year-old heart. That's so intense.
Well, then...
I apologize.
Then I sort of thought about this, and this is something that this is terminology that I think I came up with, but who knows?
Okay.
But it's just forced healing. Ooh. Because you are going to face these obstacles at some point in time, and we spend so much of our days avoiding pain when healing actually happens when you sit with pain and you understand it better and you have the ability to move forward. And so grief is healing, but you're forced to do it by an unfortunate event most of the time.
Well, I think the non-drinking
and
aspect of our lifestyle of like grieving that time, that personality perhaps, like, and I shouldn't laugh because I'm like, there are really awful things that you grieve from that, and full missing pieces. And there's also the relationships that end and things like that there's a lot of grief that goes on that nobody really brings a lot of casseroles around for. I mean, like celebrating not drinking, but that is
yeah, you
and so forced healing, I'm like, that tracks.
just the perspective switch of I'm grieving, but knowing that what I'm experiencing and what I'm feeling, as awful as it is actually the pathway to healing makes me feel better. I don't know why that's just sort of having that context that worked for me to be like,
see, force doesn't usually help with a lot with force healing. And I'm like, well, I don't know.
That's why
I got a note.
Because we all know how to heal. We all have experienced healing. But when you're forced into a situation that you're required to heal from, that's sort of how I look at grief is now instead of being like, I shouldn't feel this way. I'm so sad. I'm so torn down from what's happened. I look at it, go, the healing process has started.
Stuff's going on.
I feel like this because I'm starting to heal.
And
that
what if
just
I don't
helps.
want to do that yet? What if you don't?
That's fine.
What if you, yeah, is there a time? Because I feel it's not pretty. It's quite unattractive at times. It is unpredictable.
Yes.
Like, I've been hit by some waves. I'm like, whoa, did you just see? I looked to the beach, to the shore, for like, did you all see me stick the landing as the next one pummels me?
Yeah.
And I feel that is and I know silly analogy to use like wave, but
No, that's classic.
is-
That's perfect for
you
grief.
could be out there all day and then all of a sudden you are somehow not wearing pants.
Right. And the common
with sandburn.
the common misconceptions of those waves of grief, because trust me, it's real.
Because there's milestones
Oh, of course there are.
that
And
you don't necessarily mark. I don't think
No.
they're just like, oh, on the day. Nope.
no experience is that one day you wake up and you feel okay. And then you wake up the next day and you're a complete mess. And just something that I hope people understand. I thought in my own grief stricken moments,
You're forced healing.
in my forced healing moments, that triggers. I was avoiding trigger spots. I was like, I'm not going to go to that restaurant because my dad loved to eat there for lunchtime.
Ooh,
Here's the truth of it.
fascinating.
It does come in these unpredictable waves, and there's not a pattern I've figured out. And there would be times that I would look at people and I'd be like, I don't know why I'm a mess right now. Nothing's triggered me. There doesn't need to be a trigger.
I was going to say
You're a
that
mess right now. Who cares? You're feeling it. And
Yes.
feeling it is truly means the healing is, like you asked, if I don't want to do that. Your sadness and what you're feeling right now and being in tune and just understanding it and sitting with those feelings, that's part of healing. You know what I mean? You're doing it.
Right, whether you're jogging with it, sitting with it. So it's an excellent point because that you feel like crap, you don't need to justify it.
No.
You don't need to like, yeah, just if you need permission, here it is. That's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right. Just be all right with being not at all close to all right for a bit.
And for it to hit you 3 years later on a Tuesday,
Yeah.
not uncommon.
And I was going to say yes, and it could be in the triggers. I wonder. I'm not starting an argument in our grieving chat, but I think that it can be like for me, smells like scents.
Oh, your
And
olfactory
so
system
I do
is
think that
tied to
might
memory. Yeah.
still fall into seeing certain.
There are
Yeah.
triggers. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying they're not
Songs.
necessary.
Oh, correct. Couldn't agree with you more. And so, because again, we're saying that you don't move on. That's not a thing. The brochure clarified that doesn't happen. But if you are able, like you said, to move with and just kind of release, surrender to that easier said than all of this is like great wisdom. And I'm like, whew.
The word that I love and also hate, have a love-hate relationship with this because it's so difficult. And I also just don't like the way the word sounds, but acceptance. That's really kind of when you can accept the situation, that's when you really start to sort of feel better. And when you can live with this acceptance and make the grief a part of you in a positive notion, which sounds really hard. I think you can see why the love and the hate. I don't like the acceptance aspect of it, but I've been forced to understand that acceptance is a big part of working through and working with and allowing grief to be a part of your life and still be productive and positive and happy.
Yeah. Are you allowed to be? When is that change? That milestone moment of can you be joyful? Can two emotions exist at once? Are you in mourning
Of course.
and laugh during a eulogy? Oh my goodness.
Just-
Wild. Now I feel like yeah.
Well, now you get it. Like, it's totally appropriate to grieve how you grieve. And that's the thing that I want people to understand is like, it's going to be different for everyone. There are no milestones. I mean, there are, of course, along the way that you'll feel better and things will change as you progress. But at the same time, it's different for every single person.
Right.
And there could be a big wave on the
personalized
horizon that
experience.
you don't know. And you could be feeling great and feel like you've really done a lot of positive work, and then a big old wave comes and sends you back. And, like, am I answering your question at all?
You are, and I don't even know if I framed it as a question, because I think I was curious, is joy disrespectful?
I would
to
encourage anyone who's grieving to try to experience
Seek
joy.
joy.
It's pretty damn difficult. There's not
We received the news and hearts hurt, but one of those situations when you're like instant peace of better than the moment. And last words were, Lucid, I love you so much. Are you kidding me? May those
Amazing.
be, if we could all, life goals of I love you so much to his beautiful bride. Like, oh, sorry, I'm going to lose track there.
No,
but
you're doing
it feels
great.
like joy could be, or laughter, happiness. And what I witnessed and the amount of love was, it is not in any way that it is a sign that we're still living, alive, breathing, honoring, and able to feel the feels. And I feel like there's some sort of Buddhist plug that should go in here on it's what sticks. What I'm working on is some sort of a Jordan. This is the only word that's coming to mind is lubrication, and I don't like it. Some J-Lube. Nope. Veto.
Did we already do our ad? Did we already do our ad?
Our sponsor has just called and said, no, we can't do it. So I'm thinking of, I don't want it to stick. Like, I want that joy, but I have to be careful and also really gratitude driven with not getting, because when I'm not trying to run away from the hurt, but if I can go on a jog and run with it, I'm likely to feel better at the end of that. And so what I'm working on is trying to not, I don't want to say just lounge and vegetate and
you're a very
fester.
You're a very sensory
But that
feeler.
sounds insensitive.
You know
I'm a
what I mean?
sensory feeler.
Yeah, like you get what I
I'm
mean.
handsy.
Well, you like to experience things with your whole body. You're not a sit down person.
No.
And so what you're explaining to me makes a lot of sense in how you deal with it. And I also think you hit on a very good point. Another thing that was instrumental in my life when I was dealing with grief was community and being around people, and particularly people who knew that person also. And so you're describing your family coming together afterwards and popping their shoes off and telling stories about Big Al. And that is such a healing thing. And what it all comes down to, in my mind, is you're talking about feeling joy while you're also grieving. Feeling the feels. That's what we have to do. And it's what we're not good at as people, because feelings that don't feel good, we obviously don't want to welcome in.
Yeah.
But what it comes down
true.
to is really when you're grieving,
It's forced healing now.
The
I'm on
best
board.
thing you can possibly do is feel the feels, and they're not going to be fun. But if you're able to laugh in that moment, it means you're feeling. It means you're doing the work. When you isolate, when you shut
can you grieve
down.
alone?
I think you can grieve alone, absolutely. I think that it takes some very particular practices. I think journaling would be important. I'm a talk out loud person. I talk to my dad every day. I have weird rituals that just sort of make...
Honor the weird rituals.
And so when I talk about like grieving alone as opposed to the community I just discussed, yeah, there's avenues to do that, absolutely. But I think just like getting sober, there's a lot of power in doing it together.
Yes, the overlap is uncanny on the where I'm going, the desire to do it in secret is really high. To keep that mess to yourself is so unfortunate that our image or ego might outweigh, because it is helpful, even if it is just physical, biological bodies in a space, or weird rituals. I love that you talk. I mean,
Well, and again, I want to get back to rituals, but one of the things that kind of took me back as we were researching and talking about this in our little green room session was that grief is not usually felt in your brain. It's not something like
excellent point.
It's your nervous system where you feel. And so going back to your sensory thing, like getting moving is really, really important. But the point I'm trying to make here, we've said it so many times, what wires together fires together. And so we are all wired to connect. Like our bodies, our biology, the way that we are wired is to work in with each other in a community to overcome obstacles. And so, yes, you can grieve on your own, in my opinion, but man, it's just so much more powerful when you can share how you're feeling with other people and get validation for your feelings. That's really a huge part of healing.
Right.
Yeah.
The community, and again, that's the ugly sweater that is grief is going to fit everybody differently.
Yeah.
But being able to find that outlet, whether it is your drinking buddies, no shame. Like I'm like, if it does not make your
Right.
life unmanageable, do you, boo? Or your church group or prayer group.
Right.
Another one, if I'm praying for you, is a tricky one because I'm always concerned about over tapping the lines. Anyway, sorry, circling
I
back.
always say good vibes coming your way,
I feel
or
like
sending all the positive energy.
Yep.
And
Ooh, massive plug for ice water. Huge part of it too. Drinking, hydrating, huge part. Can we talk about though the stuff that we wish kind of got a little more recognition? Because I'm feeling for holy moly, culturally we put up some blocks on making it okay to bring up the uncomfortable shit. Like, hey, I'm going to use a really sensitive hot button topic of, let's say the parent-child dynamic has fizzled.
split.
Yep, and either
We're seeing a lot more of that.
A lot more. Isn't it like 1 in 6 families?
1 in 6
this
have
is
a
not
child that does not speak to their parents.
Yes, and so whether it's motivated by the parents who have made decisions or the kiddos have gone that route, super popular. My lack of understanding and empathy, like you don't know, and to be able to be there for people who are grieving such a live wire of uncertainty, because I don't know, I don't think I have a lot of experience with folks going like, oh, we're all good with it though. Like both parties are like,
Right.
it's chill this way, like
Yeah,
it's way better.
we like this.
And I want to bring up, like, nobody's bringing the divorce casserole. Our awesome interview with good old Dr. Karen McNinney.
Yeah.
The good divorce coach.
Yes.
If I gave you a PhD there, Karen, you're welcome. I don't know. But that she, that there was a wound in her heart a little bit on, man, I got ghosted.
Yes, ghosting
And during my grief of my marriage, my family structure, the nuclear vibe, this house I had to move out, like that grief train was coming in
Yep.
loud and hot. And it was, in many cases of, folks that we know and love that, yeah, it's a common.
Absolutely. We grieve so much more than just the loss of someone or something in our lives. And it's an important part because, again, I've already talked about sitting with your feelings. If you can recognize and literally pinpoint, I'm grieving the fact that this has changed. And it just sort of gives you permission to feel, if that makes any kind of sense. Mm-hmm. Are you tracking what I'm saying? Like, if you can be aware that you're in a state of grief, then think about those waves that come and like this process that no one has figured out perfectly. There is not a playbook. There is not a blueprint. There isn't a right or wrong way to do this. And so if you can recognize, hey, I'm grieving the fact that I no longer play Wednesday night baseball with that group of guys I really liked, that is worth grieving, and you can feel those emotions.
So you're saying as an identifier,
if you can identify
it helps to process a grief.
You can be like, why am I emotional wreck? Why am I snippy? Why am I a turd today? Mm-hmm. If you can recognize the fact that you're actually in a state of grief over something, that could be really helpful and beneficial to understanding yourself, which again, understanding your emotions and feelings is how we heal.
Good. Yeah, grounds. That was good.
Yeah, was it good?
Yeah, I hung with you there. So I'm here blaming culture, and then the take I feel is, I'm just going to say it, maybe in a good way, like a little selfish, like ego driven of like, I am going through my own grief. And I realized in that moment that I don't want to bring up the loss or the absence or the hurt in someone else's life, but oh man, do I grow, heal, feel better when I can be there for someone else.
Yeah.
In a footnote, non like controlling, codependent, super over the top kind of way.
Right.
But I think that, what do we do? Showing up.
That's a really good question. And using your example of like the disconnect from a parent and a child, I think that's a really good example because it's active grief. That person's still alive and still well, but they just want nothing to do with you. I'm going to start with like something that I think is really dangerous and really tricky for people to avoid. But you don't want to give that person sort of a false sense of safety or hope. Oh. And so, like, the worst thing you can say to someone in that situation is like, oh, don't worry, he'll call.
They'll come to their senses.
And that's not how you show up. I would really say the right way to handle something like this is very much like anyone who's grieving anything is be present, be aware, be an active listener, show up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you can really be there for someone. And it might not be the self-fulfillment that you're looking for, but you'll see it over time, and you just have to be aware. And if you really care for someone, it takes time. Healing takes time. It's going to be a process of showing up and being there for that person. And it might seem like they don't want you there sometimes.
Well, I'm feeling pretty good about but in this moment of, active grief, to feel like I want to do better on this sort of micro level with not necessarily, I'm not there to fix anyone's, but there's like I feel more vulnerable where you say the line like everybody's got their own stuff, everybody's got stuff, but it's like everybody's got stuff that's on fire right now. And so I think it'll kind of soften my edges a bit.
Nice.
This has been, a lesson in that.
Agreed. So in the honor and in the thought process of trying to make this more concise, we came up with a grief manifesto. All the things that we sort of felt about grief, we put them into sort of a PSA.
It was, to help. It was a JSA. It was to help myself.
Yes.
And for us to help our hearts.
And I'm proud of it.
And now we want to share.
Yeah, please share it. So this is our grief manifesto.
No copyright. Yep.
Yeah.
We believe grief is not a problem to fix. It is a sacred, shitty, wild thing we carry. We believe your tears are wise, your silence is honest, your laughter is not betrayal, your weird rituals are holy. We believe that grief is not linear, it's not polite, and it's not interested in your calendar. We believe healing is not about closure, it's about integration, making room at the table for what's no longer here and still somehow is. We believe in texting back late, in canceling plans, in eating ice cream for dinner, in whispering their name just to hear it. We believe that feeling joy again does not mean you've moved on. It means you're still alive. We believe that grief doesn't shrink, you grow around it. We believe in letting it hurt, in letting it soften, in letting it open something new. And if today all you did was breathe, we're proud of you for that too.
Proud.
Good
job, baby.
Whew, good job.
This was
a
really
teamwork.
We did a good job on a challenging topic. I'm proud of this.
I'm proud of you for acknowledging. No, but it is tough, and we're all in this together. Is a thing we say a lot.
Absolutely.
And man, there is nothing more true.
And we call all you listeners out there love ninjas for a reason, because we love you and we feel your love back.
And if we can, in our PSA spirit, text somebody you've been thinking about and you've been meaning, you know who it is. I love getting mail, so not me in particular, but make sure you're touching some folks. Take care, self-romance. That's something that's real. That,
you know who you are, shouting you out.
Take care, self-consideration.
You were brave on this one. Good job.
That's right, and we encourage you, be brave, beautiful friends. Until next time, I'm Jordan.
And I'm JT.
If you enjoyed this conversation, it would mean the world to us if you had a second to share this episode or your favorite episode. If you haven't already, please subscribe or follow on the homepage at letsdigintothat.com or wherever you find your podcast. Thank you, Love Ninjas.
The impact of your support is greater than you could ever imagine. Thank you, thank you, thank you.